Hello lovelies, I am going to be doing my daily regimen for you today because my skin needs a boost. I've got nothing on it right now. I'm going to cleanse it. I'm going to do a little treatment and show you what I'm going to do, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you my regimen, my boosting treatment regimen. So I'm going to start by cleansing my skin. I'm using, of course, my Confidence cleanser, which I love. It's a gelée. And I'm going to cleanse off my skin. We're going to do that. And this is my morning regimen before I put on my makeup. So I do my major cleanse at night, which I spend a lot of time massaging my skin because it's so important to do that cleanse at night time. And really make sure you're doing circular motions and getting under any fine facial hair. We always want to be doing that. Make sure you do well around the nose. Up here for you guys that are oily, you want to make sure you're really cleaning well here and in between the eyebrows. A lot of people with oily skin, they get a lot of little blackheads around this area here. So don't forget to cleanse really well in here, in this part, and either side of the ear, because blackheads, they get all the way out here, especially if you're a more oily skin. So my skin type is what we call a combination dry. That means I just have a little bit of oil around my nose area and on my chin. I have no oil really on my forehead at all and nothing on my cheeks. But I do have a whiner pore right here, and you can see it's a little bit red, and that means it's a damaged pore that it always fills up, and the only way to get rid of it is I would have to have it cut by the dermatologist and stitched. So either I would have a little scar or I deal with having a whiner pore, which is a larger pore, and it's a damaged pore. So, and there's not a lot I can do other than, you know, having a derm do that. So I'm going to get my towels here and out of my hot cabbie and take my cleanser off. You know, it's important to make sure that when you're cleansing your face that you do your eyelashes really well, because we carry a lot of bacteria around the lashes. And it's really important, especially at night, if you're like me and you wear mascara and eyeliner, and I like sparkles, so I wear a lot of sparkles. So you want to make sure you really clean that area well around your lashes. And at nighttime I use a cotton. It's the first thing I do when I take off my makeup. I put a little bit of my cleanser onto my cotton, and then I take my eye makeup off first, and then I do the rest of my face. But being that this is my morning regimen and I have nothing on my face, I'm just going to cleanse it here once. And if I was right by a sink, I would actually just rinse it off. And but I've got nice warm towels here. Okay, so I've done my cleanse. I'll put that over there. Now what I want to do is I want to do a little boost on my skin today, because I'm feeling like I've been getting a little bit of sun. I'm freckly, as you can see. I'm a very fair skin. My skin really picks up the sun, and I've got a few freckles. So what I'm going to do is, and they've come out because you know, even though I wear SPF 50, having my skin, you do need to be really mindful of the sun and having sunblock on all the time. So I'm going to do an AHA treatment on my skin right now. And this one here is a 25%. And I'm going to, it's an exfoliant. AHAs are exfoliants, but the great thing about an AHA is that it gets to live cells. So, you know, that's why you feel a little bit of tingling when you put an alpha hydroxy acid on your skin, is because it does get to live cells and it stimulates live cells. And that's what we want, because what does that do? It helps lessen the depth of a wrinkle, and it really helps shrink a pore. So we all have pores that we want to shrink. So AHAs are really good for shrinking pores. So I'm just going to do it well around my nose. Of course, put it on my whiner pore. And I like to do a little bit of an AHA up under my eyebrow bone. I don't put it on my lid, my eyelid, not here, but here, yes. because I want to help with any sun damage. Taking it up reasonably close. Again, for you oily skin people, you need to make sure you're doing this area here well. And around the sides of the nose, chin. And then I'm going to do the sides of my face really well because that's where I get a little sun damage over there too. When I was really young, I had so many freckles on my face. It was crazy how many freckles I had. I just was all freckles. But I've lightened them up a lot by using alpha hydroxy acids on a daily basis in my moisturizer. And also, I use retinols at night. So that's what really helps. So this is AHA. My neck is always an issue for me as we get older. You want to make sure, and you're doing this under the chin, because we get jarling as we get older, which is horrible. And the other area I'm going to do, one more area, is going to be my décolleté down here. So I've got a little bit of sun damage down here too, that V. So I'm putting my alpha hydroxy acid. It's at 25%. The pH of this is a 2.8. So 3.0 is a good safe one, or 3.5. This one I'm using is a professional one, but any AHA you can use to help lighten up this is really great. Okay, so there we go. I've got it on. I'm going to leave it on a couple of minutes, and that's that. All right, so we're going to put that over here. Don't lose my headband. It's getting a little loose. Alrighty, so now I've got this on. Now while this is on, I'm going to prepare my next step, and that's going to be my ampule. So I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to use an ampule. This one is really good for little blood vessels. I'm very big on supporting capillaries, because a lot of people, as we get older, we get those little visible blood vessels around the nose, we get them on the cheek. So anything that's going to help support little blood vessels, I'm all for it. So here we go. This one here. So this is a water-soluble little ampule. And I'm not talking about names of products right now, because I don't want it to be about that. I want it to be educational. Regardless of whatever product line it is you're using, I want you to know that there's a lot of good products out there. And so this one here is water-based. And I'm going to break it off the top of it, which you always grab a tissue, right? And there's a little line, and I'm going to break it off. Oh, that one was hard. All right, so now we've got that. Throw the tissue away. Make sure, be careful, there's no glass around there. And so once we take this off, which I'm going to take off now, my disposable sponges, cold water, because whenever you're removing an alpha hydroxy acid, you want to make sure you're taking it off with cold water. This one is a treatment, so it's not one that's left on the skin. And you can see my skin's a little pink, which is normal. We've been stimulating live cells, so it's okay for the skin to be a little pink. There we go. Now the neck is a lot more sensitive than the face, guys, so be careful of your neck. Don't go too strong on the neck area, because it's a very sensitive area. This area down here is pretty tough, but the neck is the most sensitive. So you want to make sure that you're not leaving it on for too long on that neck area. And this was not too stingy on my skin, but just a little bit. We're taking it off down here on the décolleté, and you can see I've got that definite V, and you can see where it's red now because I put the solution, my alpha hydroxy acid solution. And what does that do? What does an AHA do? It really gets rid of dead cells, and it loosens up the dead cells down deeper too. So we want these AHAs to get down to those dermal layers, really loosen everything up, allow things to move around and exfoliate, you know, be gone, sort of thing. So this, what AHAs do in particular, is because they don't have that slothing effect that you physically see, they absorb dead cells. And that's what's so great about AHAs, is that they absorb dead cells. So you're not seeing an actual sloughing of the skin happening, but it is happening. And it's also getting to live cells, stimulating live cells, which helps lessen the depth of a wrinkle. And that's also what you want. You want to, you know, for youthful skin, we've got to lessen the depth of a wrinkle. It lightens brown spots as well. So these things are very, very important. And I'm just going to do one more rinse to make sure we've got it off here completely. They call it the glue between the cells, you know, which is kind of what you want to loosen up and allow for fresh new cells to come on up, because we want our skin to be fresh and clean. Okay, so there we go. We've got off the AHA. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this ampule on my skin, and I'm going to pay big attention to areas around the mouth and my nasal labial. So I've got it here in my hand. The rest of the serum, I'm putting it all over. This one here helps support little blood vessels, and I'm using my camera as my mirror here, so I hope you guys can see okay. Patting it around here. And I'm going to put a little bit more on my hand. I want to really make sure we work it into where I would have little blood vessels, and I've got some damaged blood vessels. And sometimes, because I've had a little bit of I've had a couple of times I've had filler in my nasal labial lines. What's happened is it's damaged the blood vessels. Whenever you get injections, it causes microscarring, and it's given me some little burst blood vessels there, which I could have zapped at the derm, and I will do at some point, because they need to be done. All right, so now we've got this on. Now I'm going to use my little device here, and I'm going to use this one here. It has, you've seen this being done before. The one where it curves over this way is what you can do as an extra cleanse, or if you're doing you know, exfoliation, you can sometimes work, depending on your type of exfoliation, you can work this in, and you're using this side of it, and it just helps with cleansing. But I'm actually going to be using the other side, which is the flat side of it, and we're going to turn it on. And the nice thing about this particular one is that it actually can heat up, or it can be cold and have the vibration at the same time. So what we're going to do is, always when you're doing the mission, I'm just going to do, normally you do a little bit here with going the upward motion. So I'm going to be doing over here. I can feel a little bit of heat. And I want to do above my lip, what this is doing is it's just helping the serum to go in a little bit more, infuse it in a little bit deeper, as you would. Any lifting we can do if we want to do that. Always upward motion. The other side. I can see a little lifting. Can you see a little lifting? And again, it's just infusing, helping that serum to get in there It's not a microcurrent, this one. It just does the vibration there, and heat stimulates circulation. It's very, very slightly warm. It's not very hot, but it is a little bit warm. And this one is nice. It has that heat option. It also has cold, if you prefer to do cold. Just the ultrasonic vibration here. I want to put those little blood vessels there that have been burst. You can see them right there. Now, if it was too hot, I would not want to use heat on my little blood vessels, but it's not too hot. It's just sort of a little bit warm. That's what we're using here, and I'm just doing above the lip. You don't want to hold it on too long, or it does get a little bit too hot. There we go. So we just infuse that ampule a little bit into the areas there, and again, just up here in between the eyebrows. Now this is where I do a little bit of Botox on my face. And you can do out here also by the eyes, depending on your area of need. My eyes are pretty good. They've always been pretty good because I've got a large skeletal head here that holds a lot in place. Huge forehead. Always upward motions in. Okay, so that's going to be that. You could do movements like this going up here. If you want to on your face while you've got that ampule on, you could have a little steam going. It's nice to have something to keep the skin a little bit moist. You could have steam going at the same time you're doing this, which is what I would be doing if I was doing it on a client. And you would be doing the upward motions like this. It's upward, upward, upward. Anything to help jarling. There's different ampules you can use for tightening. Anything for the jowls, we need that, or I do. So you're going to always be doing upward, 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 upward like this, okay? And that's how you use this little device. And it's great. This is a really great little device. Okay, so we've done that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a serum on my skin. And again, I'm not showing you what I'm putting on in particular. This one does have hyaluronic acid in it, and it has some peptides. And it is a new one coming out that you'll see later on, guys. I just will have it ready for you, but a little later you'll see in about 6 months, maybe less, hopefully less. Okay, so there's my serum that's on my face. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of eye cream on around my eyes. Again, new coming stuff. You'll see fabulous new things all coming out this year. Lots to show you. And a moisturizer. Okay. Now, what's really important is after your moisturizer, because daytime, remember, we are in the day. So we are going to put on sunblock. And I'm going to be doing another video shortly, which is going to be on how I put on my makeup, because I've had a lot of you ask me. So don't forget to take things down onto your décolleté, guys. Your neck and your décolleté. I don't always put my serum down here, but I'm going to put either my serum or my moisturizer, one or the other. The neck the same. You don't want to layer too much down here, because it's a different skin and it doesn't need it, but you certainly want to make sure you're doing something. So there is my moisturizer, and now what I'm going to do is put on a little bit of a sunblock, and then I'm done. And you've got to make sure you put a good amount of sunblock on. A lot of people, they just don't use enough sunblock, so sunblock is really, really important. Okay, so here's my sunblock, and got to put a good amount on. You see how much I've got there on my finger? Because without a good amount of sunblock on, it's not going to give you the SPF that it says on the tube. And my SPF, this one I'm putting on, is an SPF 50. And I want to make sure that I'm putting a good amount on. So you've got to make sure you get a good amount on. Make sure you're taking it all the way out to the sides of the face, guys. Very, very important. And you've got to put a good amount on, or otherwise you are not getting that SPF 50. Make sure you take it up close to the eyes if you're able to and it doesn't sting. Definitely you need to be putting it on here underneath your eyebrow bone. Very, very important. Okay. Now, this is what I do on a day that I'm not going to work, but I am going to be out and about and I'm not wearing makeup, any makeup. So I'm just putting on my sunblock. I've got all my serum, everything on my face. I've given my skin a boost so it feels really nice and hydrated. I've put and protected my décolleté down here with sunblock, which is very important. And if there's some areas where you guys, if you have melasma, you can go back and put a little bit more of that sunblock on the areas that you have melasma. So because this is my driver's side, and I want to make sure that I'm really protecting it, I'm putting a little extra on that side of my face. And around my mouth here. Because when the visor is there, it's still, the sun is getting all of this area, and the other area of my body that gets a lot of sun is right here, my décolleté. So you want to make sure you're really protecting that area well. So that's my morning regimen, guys. I hope that was helpful for you. I did a little boost on my skin and worked in, so my skin is feeling nice and lifted, and yay, morning regimen. So I'll see you all again really soon.